våra gäster. Vi börjar med David Morrissey. Och är det så att ni har någon fråga, räck upp en hand så springer jag bara ut med mikrofonen. Okej? Han är gift med en av Sigmund Freuds barnbarn samt har ett eget filmbolag. Och han har spelat mot stjärnor som Sharon Stone, Uma Thurman, John Hurt och Nicolas Cage. Please give a warm welcome to David Morrissey.
Hi. How you doing? Great to be here in Stockholm. Been having a great time. I went to the ABBA Museum, which was fantastic. And I also went to the Mässa, which I thought was amazing. So I'm really, really happy to be here. I'm very proud of The Walking Dead. I think it's a great show. It's a great show to be part of. And you've all been brilliantly friendly while I've been here, so thank you very much for your support. I think I'm going to answer any questions you have. I know we have some questions, but if you have any questions that you can think of, just shout them out later on and I think we'll get them. Okay? Do you have some questions?
Yeah, I can start out easy. I know that your resume has a lot of TV series. What do you prefer? A TV series with your character for a long period of time, or movies that you often made during a shorter period of time?
Yeah, I mean, I love them both. I love doing movies, I love doing TV. I think what's happened in TV in the last couple of years is that you can do a TV show that has 13 to 16 episodes that keeps coming back, so it can have lots of different characters. Like the governor, you can start with a character who you think is, you're not too sure about him, whether he's good or bad, you don't know what's going to happen. And then over 16 episodes you can get to know him a lot better. So I like doing TV because of that, but I also love doing movies. I think movies are great. I think I go to the movies a lot. I like going to the cinema. I like seeing those big films. So they're both good. And also being from England, I also like doing theatre. So I do a lot of theatre in my life as well as an actor. So there's good and bad, but mostly it's good. I really enjoy both mediums.
Good. And I know that you started acting at a very young age as well, thanks to Miss Keller. But she quit, and so did you.
Yeah, Miss Keller. She was I did The Wizard of Oz at school. And she was my drama teacher, and I played the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz. And I loved it. It was great. I went to a very sporty school, so there was like lots of football and rugby and cricket and stuff like that. And I liked that, but I really loved drama. And then when I left that school, when I was 11, I went to another school, and they didn't do drama at all. They did no drama. And I really missed it. I wanted to do it. So I went down to my local theatre in Liverpool, and I started doing drama down there, and I met some great actors down there as well. So I started working with them, and that's when I really got the bug. That's when I really wanted to be an actor from then on, really. And that was in the 80s, so it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I know that you often were typecast as a policeman or a soldier. Why do you think that? It was because your looks, or because like anything else?
Yeah, no, I'm 6'3", and I think that whenever you were playing a policeman or a soldier, that's what I used to get done. The thing about policemen is crime is our biggest drama with Precinct, really. There's so much crime on TV that you're always going to be either playing a policeman or a bad guy, or a policeman who is a bad guy. So for me, there was a lot of policemen. I've been playing a policeman recently in a thing called Thorn, which Sky did in the UK. So yeah, policemen are always there or thereabouts because we love that as a drama. And soldiers, yes, I've done a lot of soldiers in my time as well, which I enjoy because it keeps you fit. Usually when you're playing a soldier, you do a lot of running and fighting, and you have a lot of kit on, and I love that. I love doing action as well. So yeah, I did a lot of them for a bit of typecasting.
I know that your character, the governor, was ranked as the number 28 on the TV list of the 60 naughtiest villains of all times. And you were nominated for the Best Supporting Actor at the Saturn Awards as well. How does it feel to know you're so good at being bad?
Yeah, it feels great. Yeah, I mean, the show, you know, the thing about The Walking Dead was I came to it as a fan. I hadn't read the comics at all, but I'd seen the show. Andrew Lincoln is a great friend of mine and has been for a long, long time. So when I saw that first pilot episode, I watched it with real interest, and I thought it was fantastic. It was like the best movie I'd ever seen, that pilot episode in series 1. When he's locked in that hospital ward, it says, "Don't open, dead inside." I just thought that was great. And I thought it was a really wonderful TV drama. And I carried on watching it. And the guy who plays Morgan is a friend of mine as well, Lenny James. So I watched it and I loved it. And then halfway through the second season, I was in LA and I got asked by my manager if I'd like to go up for the third season of The Walking Dead to play a major character. He wouldn't tell me what it was. And again, I'd never read the comics or the book or anything, so I didn't know anything about it. And I met the showrunner, Glenn Mazzara, and they wouldn't tell me what the character was. They just kept saying, "Yeah, it's a big role, it's a big role." And then I phoned up Andrew Lincoln and I went, "What's the role?" And he said, "It's the governor." And I went, "What's the governor?" And he said, "Go and read the comics." So I went to the local bookstore and I got the comics and I read them all whilst I was in the bookstore. I was there for hours. And I thought, wow, if this is the character, this is brilliant. And then I met them and I said, "What's the character?" And they said, "It's the governor." And I said, "Okay." And they said, "But he's not going to be evil right from the start. We're going to take him back in his story so you don't know where you are with him." And I thought that was great. So when I started, I had both my eyes. I was not particularly a good guy, but I was okay. I had my daughter locked up, but that was good. So I had all those things. And then as season 3 went on, you saw him getting more and more involved in the dark side. And once Michonne kills Penny, his daughter, I think that's it for him. I think the red mist comes down and he just goes. Has anyone here not seen season 4? Okay, I won't talk about season 4. But season 3, you know, he really does in the end go pretty mad, killing most of his town. I mean, that's not what you want from your governor, really. So he was pretty crazy out there. But I loved it. I love one of my favorite scenes is where I play golf on the bus. And that was the hottest day in the world. I mean, just really, my head was burning. And then I had to try and hit the zombies as they were walking up the street. That was really fun. But every scene is great. The important thing to say about The Walking Dead is it's full of great actors. You know, obviously all the leads like Andrew and Norman Reedus and all those guys. Brilliant, brilliant actors. But everyone on the show is amazing. Behind the camera as well. You can't make a show like The Walking Dead without having the greatest crew in the world. And the crew are brilliant. You know, Greg Nicotero, who's one of our directors and our producer, he's also the head makeup guy. He runs all the zombie makeup. He is a genius. And his team are fantastic. They are great people. And then we've got our cameraman, we've got our stunt team. Our stunt team are just amazing. And then we get everybody else. So it really is a team effort. It's a wonderful place to work. Sometimes you go to work and you hate everybody. But actually on this show you love everybody. And that's why when people die on this show, it's really sad. It's a really sad time, not just for the actor who's going, but for the people like us who are being left behind, because it's a big family. So like when Laurie goes, Laurie Holden on season 3, it was a really emotional time because she'd been on the show since day 1. And she's a great actress and a great person. So when you lose people, it's really tough. And with us, what happens is we have 8 days to shoot the show. That's all we have is 8 days. So it's pretty fast. And we only get the script like about 2 days before we start shooting it. So we get given the script, we all go to our trailers, and we all read the script backwards to see if we're still alive. So if we're alive on the last page, we're like, oh great, so then we turn it over and read it. But of course, at the end of reading it, we come out of the trailers and we all come out, and there's always one door still closed. and it's the person who's died. Oh God. And with my last episode, I read it, and of course there's me, but there's also Herschel, and that was really hard. I mean, Scott Wilson is a great actor. He's a wonderful man, and he's one of my best friends. So I always felt that with the governor, they brought the governor in to get the wage bill down, because he was the guy who was going to kill everybody. So it was like when everybody said, "Oh my God, I've got a scene with the governor," they thought I was going to kill him. So you know, but people were quite nice to me. It was good to do.
Yeah, talking about the governor, I know that you have the eye patch on the right eye, but the comic says on the left eye.
Yeah.
Is there any specific reason for that? Is that a coincidence?
No, that was to do with the fight. So when I had the fight with Michonne, some people are very right-sided, some people are very left-sided, you know it yourself. When with Michonne, with Denai, who plays Michonne, I jump on her and I have her like this, and she has to grab a piece of glass and throw it into my eye. And her left hand is not the best hand she's got. It's a bit weak. So we were thinking, if someone's going to throw glass in your eye, you don't want it to be with their weak hand. You want it to be with the hand they've got most control over. Because the way the camera was, she had to do it like that. So I had to just miss my head. And her left hand wasn't so good, so I wasn't that confident that she would get my eye this time. So that's why it happened that way. But also there's a scene in the show where people say to me, your eye swapped around then, your eye swapped around, it went from your right eye to your left eye. But it's actually where I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm examining my eye, and a lot of people think, oh, they messed up. Well, we didn't mess up, that's all it is.
We have a question from the audience.
Hi, there's a lot of British actors come through. You've got yourself, Andrew Lincoln, Steve Q-Laurie playing House and so on. Why do you think there's so many British people playing Americans these days?
Well, it's not just Brits. I mean, there's a lot of Australian and New Zealand actors and stuff. I mean, you know, the thing to say about America is they make a lot of drama. I mean, they make more drama than anywhere else in the world. So there's a lot of jobs around. I think they like us as the villains. I don't know why, but they do. So, you know, for me it's about, I really have to doff my hat to the English actors who came before us. When you see people like Ian McShane in Deadwood, you know, great actor. And not only a great actor who does it on the screen, but it's how he conducts himself off the camera as well. You know, he's a very polite man. Hugh Laurie, same thing. You know, Hugh Laurie, great actor in-house. But you know, he's a really nice man to be around. So those guys really paved the way for us. You know, once they've got one of them, they want the others. But I have to say, it's not because of the lack of talent or anything in America. You know, the favourite actors of mine in the world are always have been American. You know, and on our show we've got great actors. Wow. So I don't know what it is, but they certainly like us. But and it's reciprocated sometimes. You know, there's American actors on British TV. So not as often, but I think people like Idris Elba and stuff like that done great work over there. So long may it continue, I hope. Any other questions?
There are a lot of British actors playing bad guys in general.
Yeah.
What do you think of like that, and what do you think of it when it originated? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's always been the case. I mean, I think, you know, when you see someone like Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs or something, you know, they like the Brits to play the bad guy. I don't know why. I think there is something to do with the fact that we have classical training, so our training sometimes comes from the theatre, so we're not afraid to be big, maybe. I'm not sure really, but they do like it. They certainly like it to come from a British sensibility. I think when you see someone like Alan Rickman in the first Die Hard, that's a great performance, I think, for a great baddie. So they've seen it in the past, and then in the past, so they suddenly go, oh, we'd like to do it again. You know, that's why, really. But I think it's all about the actor. I think, you know, sometimes if an actor has a certain look or the way he has a phrasing, then they like the baddie to come out. You know, the actor can wear an eye patch well, then they want him to be the baddie. I mean, I don't know why it is. Anybody else?
Do you know how many liters of fake blood blood they used in The Walking Dead series?
No, so many Lisas. I mean, one of the things that's really strange about The Walking Dead is I heard Greg Nicotero on the phone once, and he was talking to someone. He said, "Yeah, no, I've got 8 liters of blood in the car now." And I was like, God, only on The Walking Dead would you hear that. There's blood everywhere, and there's bit body parts everywhere. And the other thing to say is the guys who play the zombies, they are fantastic. I mean, they sometimes turn up to set about 4 in the morning to get ready for 8 in the morning shoot. They go into makeup and they sit there and they're covered in latex. So it's very, it goes on for about 4 hours. And then they have the contact lenses in, then they have the blood, and they build it up. It's a real work of art. So they are amazing people, and then they have to lie in the sun for hours and hours, and sometimes in the mud. There's a great scene in season 4 when I'm driving a car, and I come to this dead end, and I walk out, and there's just all these zombies in the mud. Those guys were in that mud for about 8 hours, and we couldn't get them out. So in the end, we had to get these big ropes, throw them the ropes, and then about 5 of us had to pull them out one by one, and they just went and they loved it. They thought it was great. They wanted to get back in. So I'm really full of admiration for the guys who play the zombies. They're brilliant. But yeah, there's blood everywhere.
Hi. Do you have any specific way to prepare to play like bad guy, bad character?
I do, yeah, it depends on the guy. Not all bad guys are the same. You can't approach one guy the way you approach another. There's a fantastic book by Robert Kirkman called The Rise of the Governor. It's a brilliant novel. There's 2 novels, there's that and there's The Road to Woodbury. And they are all about the governor before he was the governor. You know a lot about his backstory, so I read a lot about that. I don't think the governor, before the zombie apocalypse happened, I don't think the governor was a bad man at all. I think circumstances had made him a bad guy. And also, as we know, power corrupts. So he finds himself in a position of power, and it starts to have this terrible effect on him. He likes it, he gets drunk on power. And so that's a very specific person. And then he becomes quite sadistic. But what I liked about the way they did the writing was at the end of season 3, you see this man who completely loses it. I mean, he's psychotic. And at the beginning of when we see him at the beginning of season 4, he's completely changed. So you see a man with a conscience, you see a man battling with the good and the bad inside himself. But every character is different. So you have to approach them in a different way. You can't just go, he's bad. You have to know what his fears are, what his paranoia is. The thing that makes you frightened won't make me frightened. The thing that makes you laugh won't make me laugh. So you have to find out all those specific things from your character. Why this, why then, And for me, with the governor, it was all about his backstory, and it was all about Penny. Penny was the person who connected him to his good self, connected him to his life of the past. Once she was gone, he was lost. And in season 4, he gets a Penny replacement, really. He sees this young girl who he can be a father to again. I think the other thing about the governor in his previous life, he was a good father. I know it's hard to imagine, but I think he would do anything for the people he loved. And he gets that in a very warped world, That's it.
I have a question from a young guy in the middle.
In season 3, Herschel lost his leg. How did you film that? Because he lost his leg.
Yeah, it was amazing. So what they do is, Scott hated this. I played golf a lot with Scott Wilson, he's great. And after he lost his leg, he used to bang all his bad golf on the fact that he lost his leg. And I was like, but you've got 2 legs today, Scott, what's going on? So what they do is they cut his leg off, so that's like a prosthetic, so it's like, he's lying on a table that's like that, and his leg is through a hole in the table, and then he's got his false leg down there, and they chop it off there. And then for the rest of the season, he wears, you can see it sometimes in some of the photos, he wears a green boot, all green. So when they get it back in the lab, they can rub it out and it just becomes this space. So it's like, have you heard about green screen when you do green screen? Well, he has a green screen on his leg. but he has to be on crutches. And his shoulders were killing him, and it was really tough. So it's tough work for him. But I always like the fact that he blamed his bad golf on the fact that he'd lost his leg. So I blame my bad golf on the fact that I'd lost my eye. And Andrew Lincoln was like, yeah, well, I'm just playing, that's great. So, but yeah, it was a big old thing, yeah. The first time I killed anybody on The Walking Dead was a guy who'd been cut in half by a helicopter blade. And we were in the middle of a forest, and he was lying there, and he was lying there, and the rest of his legs were under the floor. They dug a pit for him, and his false legs were over here. And halfway, and it's my first day, and halfway through the day, he jumped up out of the pit and was like, whoa! And I thought, man, that guy's got leather trousers on. But actually what they were ants all over his legs. Black ants, just like that, all over his legs. And I've never seen anybody run so fast in my life. He just ran right for it, and they had to spray him down. And he came back and he got in the hole. I was like, no, this is my first day, I've come to work, and it's crazy. There's snakes around, there's ticks. They have these ticks that bury themselves inside you, and as you pick them out, you keep the head stays inside and keeps eating away at it. So yeah, that's my day at work. Anybody else?
Unfortunately, the time is running out, but we have one more question.
Okay.
Which one do you prefer?
No, there's a guy with his hand up right in the middle.
Yep.
Freddy Krueger.
How was it to fight with the zombies in The Walking Dead?
Say that again, man.
How was it to fight with the zombies?
Well, they're great, but they go for it. You know what I mean? I think, like I said before, when the zombies come, they want to work. There's nobody. The other thing about the zombies is they never talk to you. So, you know, you never say, hey, good morning, or anything. No, not at all. I mean, we stay one side, they stay to the other. So they're very, very serious about it. And when they attack you, I mean, they come for you. And you want that, you know, you don't, when you're acting, you don't want someone to come at you and be pretending. You want to go for it. So they really go for it. And there's one scene where Andrea and I'm stalking Andrea in this barn, in this like place where I'm smashing windows and stuff. And they all come after me. And those guys were great, but they really go for it, you know. And they go to zombie school in the morning, so they all have to do their walk and everything. So they have to stay in their zombie. But the minute they shout cut, they don't just forget it. They don't just go, hi, how you doing? They stay in character all the time. So they're amazing people and really, really frightening. But fighting them was great, but it's tough, it's tough work. It was easier fighting Andrew Lincoln, to be honest. Don't tell him I said that.
Yeah, unfortunately we're running out of time.
We've run out of time. I'm going to sign some more photographs. I'll be at my booth. But it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I've loved being here in Sweden. Thank you so much. Great.
Give a big warm applause to David Morrissey.
Thank you very much. Keep watching even though I'm not